Welcome to the Everything Podcast. This episode, I'm going to recapping Series 31 of Made in Chelsea. But before I do, I'm recording this episode on the 13th of May 2026, the finale of Series 31. So Series 31 episode 10 released only 2 days ago on the 11th of May 2026. So it's really 2 days for me from finale to recorded date is actually quite good. I think there might even be some less coming out in the episodes that I'm recording tomorrow, but obviously won't be released tomorrow. Before I spoil the events of Made in Chelsea Series 31, here's the trailer.
No, it's really bad.
Every person in this room has the perfect motive for deceit.
You're just getting so involved.
Well, then Philip's a liar.
Join us for a different kind of whodunit.
You don't want to speak. I'm actually done with this.
Made in Chelsea on E4, coming soon.
So that was the short trailer for Made in Chelsea Series 31. And as I do, I'm going to talk about each episode. But because it was 9 weeks ago, some of these episodes, 8 weeks ago, because they had releases on a Monday and a Tuesday to start off the season. They tend to do that now. I don't know why, but they do. Maybe it's like their version of a streaming 2-episode premiere, I suppose, seems to be. So we start off with episode 1 with the following synopsis: a blast from Sam Prince's past sends shockwaves. Things are frosty for Liv and Chugs. And this episode was released on the 16th of March 2026. So the blast is Inga, so Sam Prince's ex-girlfriend that he cheated on Yaz that she cheated with Yaz on. He cheated with Yaz on, because it's the wrong way around. Anyway, and things are frosty for Livy and Chugs. They kind of have some kind of a friendship of sorts going happen, and then they kind of Livy and Chugs disagree on a couple of things. I think this is the episode. The episodes 1 and 2, episode 2 is set in Scotland. Speaking of episode 2, here's the synopsis. Jazz and Inga's friendship sparks rumours. A bombshell spells disaster for Livy and Kit, and this episode was released on the 17th of March 2026. So this episode, it turns out at the end of episode 1, I should have mentioned this, that Jazz knows Inga already. So that happens. And the bombshell is that Livy confesses to kissing kissing Chugs. Is that right? No, that's not right. What happens? I can't. Or was it Zeno and Chugs? God, maybe that's it. And then we move on to episode 3. Does Jazz have feelings for Inga? Jules and Tristan are furious with Chugs. And this episode was released on the 23rd of March 2026. It becomes clear that Jazz and Inga's friendship isn't what you would consider a normal friendship, with sleeping in the same bed and all of these other things that you wouldn't do with a platonic friend. They brought up and Chugs. I can't remember what he'd done. Oh, I think it's we also meet Jules's brother Philip in this season as well, and I think Chugs has his opinion on Philip and then lets it be known, and Jules obviously and Tristan are very protective of Philip, and that's what again, because this was like nearly 2 months ago, that it is kind of hard to remember. And then we move on to season 31, episode 4. Kit and Inga's date prompts Jazz to confess her true feelings, but how will Inga react? To this episode was released on the 30th of March 2026. So up to this point, Jazz hasn't still believes that she's just friends with Inga at the moment. Kit and Inga decide to go on a date, and Jazz has a very strong reaction to this. And I think she tells Jack and Jules that she sees Inga as a romantic relationship rather than a platonic one. I don't think she tells Inga quite yet. And then I think yeah. Then we move on to episode 5. Kit wants answers from Inga and Jazz. A revelation derails a double date. So, in this one, Kit, I think Inga does find out, and Inga kind of tells Kit that she needs to sort that out before whatever they have can continue. And then I think Kit kind of, it turns out that they are, they're better off as friends. I can't remember what the revelation is, unless it is that. I can't remember. And then we move on. This episode 5 was released on the 6th of April. And then we move on to episode 6. A getaway isn't as romantic as Philip has hoped, and Alice and Sam welcome baby Marmaduke. So this episode was released on the 13th of April 2026. And yeah, it turns out that Philip has said that he loves Georgia when he didn't really mean it, and he just kind of wanted to say it back so she didn't feel awful and all of that stuff. And Sam and Alice are parents to Marmaduke, and actually I can't remember which so Made in Chelsea tends to release on a Monday, and then on a Tuesday and a Wednesday. It could have been, I think it was with the next alongside episode 7, could have been alongside episode 6, I can't remember. Or it was one of the episodes during this season. We saw kind of Sam's journey, or start of his journey through getting a liver transplant, because he has end-stage liver disease, and then you have to be put on a waiting list. There was stuff around that, which kind of was separately, but I thought I'd include it because it kind of is kind of in the same time frame this season. Then we move on to episode 7. So Chugs and Zeno's secret rendezvous is revealed. Jazz struggles to move on with Mary. So this episode was released on the 20th of April 2026. And this episode, Chugs and Zeno confess to their kiss, drunken kiss, and Armin and Tristan are not happy about it. Yeah. And then Jazz kind of by this point has kind of realised that she doesn't see Inga as just a friend and tries to move on with somebody else. Marion realises that she can't really. And then we move on to episode 8. Tensions boil over between Jazz and Inga, while Philip gets into more trouble with Georgia. So this episode was released on the 27th of April. 2026, and Jazz and Inga kind of basically have a shouting match because they disagree about what happened, and then Philip gets caught out because I think he told the boys, and the boys tell. Well, Freddie meets up with Sam, Prince, not the other Sam, very confusing, and tells him about that, and we see kind of what. And then Georgia confronts Philip about it, obviously. Then we move on to episode 9. Obviously, the second half of the season, as you would have known, so I've remembered a bit more because I've watched it a lot recently. It's episode 9. Tristan tries to warn Chugs away from Zeno, and Parenthood puts a strain on Alice and Sam. This episode was released on the 4th of May, 2026. So Tristan kind of warns Chugs about Zeno. Tristan has his existing problems with Zeno because Zeno's ex lived or still does, we're not sure, lives with Tristan and Jules, so obviously he has an opinion that way. And Alice and Sam's parents kind of end up arguing a bit more alongside obviously Sam's illness and Alice, and them both being new parents and getting married. That their marriage is actually part of the 2 episode story as well, which was nice. And then we finish off the season with Series 31, Episode 10, released on this Monday, the 11th of when I'm recording it, on the 11th of May, 2026. Can Jazz and Inga really just be friends? And Chugs and Zeno's romance comes at a cost. So this episode, because there's loads of twists and turns, as it is with the Made in Chelsea finale. So Inga wants to go back to Bali. That's where she's been for a couple of years. And Jazz kind of goes, I'm just going to enjoy spending time with Inga, and then I'll deal with it when she's gone. It then turns out that Inga isn't leaving, after all, after a conversation with Yaz. Yaz and Inga buried the handshake in a previous episode. because it was all Sam Prince involved, and then Sam tries to want to be friends with Inga, and it doesn't particularly go well. And then Chugs and Zeno's romance, they kind of are confronted by Tristan and Jules about it, and they kind of go, we're going to focus on us, and they kind of come to an understanding. And the final shots of the season and the episode are of all the couples that are together, and similarly Freddie and Bex, that's another thing that I didn't mention, they kind of seem to be getting back together. There were mentions of it, or if they're just friends, at least is best that it was. But yeah, that's kind of my recap for season 31 of Made in Chelsea. Let me know what you thought of it if you watched it, my recap if you didn't, and without further ado, I will see you in a future episode of the podcast. See you then. Goodbye.